Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Arrow, Season 3, Episode 17, Suicidal Tendencies. I'm your host, Clio, and welcome to the One Woman Podcast. I'm not late. I wasn't lazy last week. I did this on time. I also feel I have to apologize for last week's episode because, I didn't record it on a potato, but it was after midnight and my laptop turned back into a potato. So, you know, midstream it turned back into a pumpkin or a potato, whatever. It was just some shit, and I am going to do this episode over if I'm done and realize that it's utter bullshit. So, but let's get started because I really like this episode, and I don't know why. I just don't like having the mask on my face. It's like, I can do it. I can tough it. Anyway. Man, they got married. It was like literally the very first thing we see in the episode is Diggle and Lila getting married. And it was very, very pretty wedding, and they're super adorbs, and I liked that, you know, Ollie was super awkward, as usual, when you put him in a social situation. But yeah, you know, I should have seen it coming that Waller was gonna fuck it up. Waller's a bitch. but that whole thing with Waller and with Diggle and with Lila was the subplot. Like, for me, it stole the show. For me, the subplot was more important than the main plot, or on the same level of importance. And I honestly liked the subplot more. Not that I didn't like the whole Adam thing, but I really liked, you know, just the whole, Floyd, like, struggling with stuff, seeing Floyd's flashbacks, that was so, like, jarring, but very, very welcome. Like, I was like, whoa, we're getting Deadshot flashbacks, hold up. So this is the second time we're getting flashbacks from someone who's not Ollie. And I'm trying to, I'm still trying to figure out what will come of, like, these other people's flashbacks, and how, I don't know, I guess how in a whole they weave together, because obviously we needed it for Floyd's story, for Deadshot's story this episode. It was very, very needed. But you sort of lose a bit of the flow of Ollie's flashbacks, because the first two seasons were nothing but Ollie, and we come into this season, we get Malcolm and Deadshot's flashbacks. And I'm pretty sure we've never seen anybody else's flashbacks before, besides the two of them. And obviously they were very important and necessary. And I honestly think that Floyd's was more important and necessary than Malcolm's, because while it was nice to see how Malcolm came to be the way he is, I think the intention was for us to sympathize with Malcolm, which I felt failed. And I know a lot of you felt that it failed because of the comments, you guys. Thank you so much for leaving comments consistently. It makes me feel happy. But yeah, and you know, like, we're not alone in being like, are we supposed to feel bad for him? No. Don't feel bad. But we see a whole human side to Deadshot. I mean, we've seen it before, but definitely not to this extent. It's a whole new level of Floyd's humanity that we get to see. Because not only well, yeah, obviously they're drawing the correlation of his experiences with his daughter to him not wanting Diggle and Lila's daughter to go through the same thing. I forgot where that was going. I started rolling it and it rolled away from me. But holy shit, it's sad and heartwarming and like, oh, you precious baby, I want to give you a little flower crown, tell you everything's gonna be okay. But what I really liked was that there was a PSA. I don't know, because I think it was a commercial in the middle of the episode. I had to actually go on the CW's website, and I'm going to link it in the bottom, in the description. I had to actually go on the CW's website to see this PSA, because I skipped through commercials, obviously, because I hate them. But they did a PSA where you know, the actor who plays Diggle was like talking about the Wounded Warrior Project, and I thought that was awesome. And I like that this season, well, they did it last season too, but this season they're really like saying, here, these are strong characters who have been through like terrible, debilitating things, and but real things like alcoholism, recovering from. I went on about this like I don't know, I guess 2 months ago or whatever, during sometime in the beginning of this season, about Laurel and her dealing with being a recovering alcoholic and also a superhero. And then we're seeing like almost the flip side of that, where Floyd's dealing with the things that happened because of his PTSD. And dealing with being a villain who's not a villain. Like, he's in this point, he's a quasi-villain, and I've been wanting to do a video on my YouTube about quasi-villains, because they are my favorite, like, subtype of villain. Like, the almost not quite villain. And I think definitely I'm throwing Floyd on that list. Especially this version of Floyd. I know there are other versions of Deadshot that aren't quite as deep, you know? And I think that could be said for all superheroes. They've all gone through a period where they weren't that very deep, as deep. But I think when you, especially what the CW's doing with these characters, is they're taking like obscure, lame villains and you know, giving them depth. Because like Flash definitely did that like 3 times already. Giving these weird villains some depth and some humanity, which is awesome. I always like to see that in my villains. But yeah, and he's not dead. Let's just say this right now, he's not dead. Because and I didn't get around to thinking it because I was just so wrapped up in the emotions of that whole subplot of the episode. So when it ended and it was like he got blowed up and you know, you're thinking, oh man, he's dead. Oh man, that's sad. Oh man, this is sad. And then like 20-30 minutes after the episode, I'm like, what the fuck? Don't be sad, he's coming back. Because I don't know if he did it on purpose or just saw an opportunity because he definitely was saving their lives. He was risking a lot to save their lives, but you know, he did that consciously. But I'm also thinking maybe while he was saying, oh, I can put myself at risk, I can save their lives, and maybe, just maybe, I have a chance of escaping the Suicide Squad. Because it's happened in, I haven't seen that, I'm not that well versed in the Suicide Squad. I've read a comic, a single comic, and watched a recent animated movie about the Suicide Squad. And since, now I can't remember, I think that the chip is in their head, right? The chip that if they run off or go off protocol, Waller can just blow them up. I think it's in their head or neck or some vital area. But it's happened before where Suicide Squad members have faked their deaths to get enough time to remove the chip so that they could go to ground, you know, and I think that's what Floyd's done. Floyd is escaping the Suicide Squad. And I hope it doesn't take too long for him to come back, especially since we have this whole humanist side to him, and that Diggle now sees the human side of him, really like he has never before. And oh my god, listen, the whole subplot was really just emotional on a couple levels, because the whole time I was like, don't kill Diggle, don't kill Diggle, don't kill Diggle, and then the whole Floyd thing with veterans returning from war and the things they deal with, and how if they don't get help, it can really just escalate very quickly. But when Diggle was patching him up, and it was the tattoo of his brother's name, and I had forgotten about his tattoos. I had forgotten that he tattoos all the names of his victims on him, which is a very telling thing, because it made me think of Zod? No, not Zod. From Batman, the guy who like marks all his victims. But those are just marks. Those are just tally marks. There's no name, there's no soul, there's no, you know, anything attached to those tally marks. It's just literally a racking up of bodies, whereas Floyd's, it's almost like a memorial to these people who he's killed. I'm just, this is giving me all the Deadshot feels. Like, I am so happy. So happy that we got to see him. And freaking Cupid. Insane lady. She is, I just looked over, I've been talking about Deadshot for 12 minutes. Let's move on. Cupid was fucking hilarious. Cause she's like, oh, you saved me, I love you, and Floyd is just like, I wish I were dead. I literally wish for death now. Oh god, so funny. Yeah, she definitely showed more of her crazy, because it was just like that. She dropped her obsession with Ollie and was obsessed with Floyd. It was like, what is happening? But yeah, that was a very good bit of the episode. And when I look back on it, I seem to remember it as being a bigger chunk than it was, because the main plot obviously took up more time of the episode, but in my head, the subplot is taking up more of the space, you know? But it's not. Totally not, the case. Oh! Hive! At the very end, Hive is the organization that recruits Deadshot to kill, oh, now I'm forgetting Diggle's brother's name. William? Bill? I don't remember his name. Anyway, but yeah. Hive hires him to Andrew to kill Andrew, which was very shocking. And I think I accidentally mentioned Hive in the beginning of this season, like confusing Hive with Argus, I think is what happened earlier in the season. And now we actually have real Hive, which is going to be very interesting, because we know now that oh wait, maybe that happened in season 1 and I didn't remember. But because I feel like when we meet Deadshot, he's already working for Argus in the Suicide Squad. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But so now we have, he joins Hive, a giant gap until he's part of the Suicide Squad. So we have all this amount of time and all of this information that we don't have yet about his time at Hive and what they're actually doing. So it's very nice to hear the name Hive, because I think that means, and I've been saying this all season, is that Argus is going to fall, and Argus is going to fall very soon. Maybe not we're still wrapped up in the Ra's al Ghul plot, so probably nothing with nothing that big with Argus is going to happen yet. But I definitely think if Ollie has more to do with the League of Assassins, then he's going to go hard after Argus, I think. Maybe. Something like that. Let's move on. But I was really, like, my mind got blown. I was like, Hive! Oh my god. I am so... Maseo. You all know he's my favorite thing in this show. I just got so sad this episode with Maseo because just he's I feel like anything before this episode Maseo could have been redeemed of. He could have been, you know, brought back to the light, so to speak. But after he shot the mayor in front of everyone, it's just like, oh, there may be no going back for you. And it makes me so sad also because it's not that I want Maseo to go back to who he was, but I want Maseo to not be... See, I don't even know, we still don't know what happened between him and Tetsu, so we don't know how he came to this state of mind, and we don't fully understand his state of mind. So, like, I want to say he's being brainwashed by the League, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's just, he needed something to pour all of his energy into, and that's what he's done. So I'm not sure where his head's at, but last thing we see is he puts his crosshairs over Felicity, and the episode ends. I don't think they're gonna kill Felicity. They may, and that would be terrible for a lot of different reasons. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I'm just really nervous. Just really nervous for what's going to happen to Felicity and for what's going to happen to Maseo, because they're two of my favorite characters in the show. Ray! We get to see the suit, you know, actually fly and shoot and shit. And so he's fighting Ollie and Roy, and he's, like, shooting missiles and fire at them, and it's like, what? It's like, I know you want to fight crime. I know you want to stop the bad guys. But you're really gonna blow them up? Because if he wasn't fighting, you know, two really skilled ninjas, basically, he could have blown them up and killed them. It's like, Ray, is that what you're trying to do? And that fight did not have the budget it deserved. I hated to think it while it was happening, but I was just like, oh man, you just need a little more money to make that look a little better. Little more CG budget. I think there's so many rumors about spin-offs and more spin-offs, obviously, other than The Flash. And I think soon... Actually, what am I kidding? Nothing's gonna happen to Felicity. She's going on Flash soon. She's going to be on Flash soon. There's going to be a crossover. It's not going to be Arrow coming onto The Flash, but it's going to be Felicity and Ray coming onto The Flash. So, if you don't watch The Flash, what is wrong with you? Get on that shit. Jeez, guys, I've been telling you for freaking months to go watch The Flash. Do it. Do it. And So, I'm trying to figure out how to say this because a lot of people have been saying that Flash is 1,000 times better than Arrow. And it's hard for me to say that because as good as The Flash is, as amazing as The Flash is, this is its first season. So in terms of that, yes, Flash is better than Arrow's first season, I'm gonna say, is what I believe. But this episode of Arrow was like 95% perfect. Like, it was amazing. And I think Arrow keeps getting better. And Arrow also has the benefit of 2 seasons of backstory and shit to hold it up. And I think that once Flash reaches that and has that prop up of a couple seasons behind it, then yes, then I will be comfortable saying Flash is better. But right now, I'm not comfortable saying that. I like them both so much, though. But yeah, there are some pretty bad early episodes of Arrow, so I don't know. It's hard for me to say one way or the other. But anyway, back to this episode. Oh my god, I couldn't stand the drama. Just the drama with Felicity and the boys. I was just like, oh, you guys are acting like giant children. Please stop. But it ended all right, because the synopsis for this episode from last week was Felicity and Ray go through a rough patch, and I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? But it was okay. It ended up being all right, and actually, I liked when Ray and Ollie joined forces. Yeah, but I mean, and the suit was cool and everything, and Ray was like super cocky, which he's not now because he got his ass handed to him. But there's a blaring weakness. Like, Ollie took him down with one arrow. One arrow took the entire suit down. And Ray's not the kind of person to leave a giant flaw. He's not just going to fix it and move on. He's going to completely rework it. He's going to make sure that that is not a flaw anymore and that that's not going to ground him. And I can't wait to see what he does with the suit next. Because while I like the suit, there's not enough blue. There's not enough blue. There needs to be blue. Ah. It's okay. It's okay. Rein it in. It's alright. It's okay. Hopefully, the next mock will be blue. Oh, man. I mean, I just hope they can work well together. I mean, I don't want them to constantly butt heads, you know? It's taken... God, it's like taken the whole half of the season, but Team Arrow is finally starting to work like they used to again. Whew. Thank God. I just realized I didn't write Laurel into my notes. It was just her arguing with her dad, and then... Oh, no, she questioned... Oh, no, Ray came to her with information. And he's like, oh, you're Canary. All right, I gotcha. He's so smart, and he puts the pieces together so quickly. And I'm really glad that he's in this show. Okay, because I don't think there's anyone as... The kind of smart that he is, there isn't a character like that on this show. Obviously, Ollie's smart tactically, Diggle's smart tactically, Felicity's smart tech-wise, but no one's quite as smart as Ray, or quite the same kind of smart as Ray. Which I think is why Felicity and Ray make a really good team, because they're two different kinds of smart. I love that he's like, I've been trying to do that for 2 weeks, and she's like, well, I had it for a whole 2 minutes and I didn't. Because they are freaking adorable, and I'm very glad that everything's okay with them. But cliffhanger for next week. Uh-oh. Alright guys, so I have something important to discuss, but it is spoilerific as hell, and when I saw the picture, I started screaming at Dom, because he didn't know it was a spoiler for Arrow. But as soon as I saw it, I knew, like, there was something clicked, and I was like, holy crap! So if you do not want to know this, if you do not want to be spoiled as I was, for literally the season finale of this show, of this season, then mute my video, and I'm gonna put a spoiler finger up, and when this finger comes down, I will not be talking about spoilers anymore. Alright? Ready? Mute it if you don't want to hear it. Here goes spoilers. So, there is an article on Screen Rant, the website news thing, that had production photos from the season finale of Flash. And I'm not going to spoil Flash, but in it, Ollie is in it. They're trying to guard this pretty well, because the last episode of the season for Arrow is still to be determined for the name and who's in it and who's directing and everything. Pretty sure it's the same way for Flash, but Ollie is in it. And Ollie is wearing the robes of the League of Assassins. So, by the end of this season, Ollie has either accepted the role as Ra's al Ghul or he's joined the League of Assassins. Because he was not wearing his green, what you see right here. He's not wearing that. He was wearing Assassin's gear, the stuff that Ra's al Ghul and Maceo wear. So he joins them. And I'm thinking that he may take Ra's al Ghul's offer. He may be forced to. And I'm not sure if it's going to be his choice. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's something really to think about as we move forward in these next few episodes. Because we have 5 episodes left, and then the season finale would be the 6th. So we have 6 more episodes. Spoilers done! Spoilers are done. So next week is called Public Enemy, and my wiki didn't load. There we go. During an attack on the mayor's office, Ray is critically injured. Felicia is pleasantly surprised when her mother, Donna Smoke, shows up at the hospital to offer support. Aw, that's cute. With the SCPD out in full force, looking for the assailant, Oliver and his team work hard to stay one step ahead of the police, find the men responsible. However, things come to a head when Ra's al Ghul kidnaps Captain Lance. Fuck. Well, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good at all. But that's really all I have to say about that. Actually, I hope we get more information about Felicity and her past from her mother, because while it's back to business as usual, we know that Felicity is not the person we thought she was. She has a sordid past, and while it hasn't really come up with anyone on Team Arrow or any other character, we know. Oh, that's right, we saw Felicity flashback. I'm sorry. So it's Felicity, Malcolm, and I forgot we had a Felicity flashback. That hardly registered to me as a thing. But yeah, so I hope we get more answers to that. And that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep leaving your comments. I love reading them. You can find me at Clio Moto. I forget how to do the intro every freaking time. You can find me at Clio Moto on the socials and on Twitch at the Clio Moto. I do stream fairly regularly now, so if you like roguelike games and anime bullshit games, then come check me out. And you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, Google+, MySpace. Excuse me, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows. I don't have the title, the slate queued up. Oh no. No! I've messed everything up! Bye-bye! Bye-bye! I'm the worst!